Welcome everyone to Stakehouse, the virtual bar where we grill the hottest Tezos topics, we stake our coins, and we pour our wisdom out like it's the last call. I'm your waiter for the evening, ably assisted by my smooth-talking bar stewards, Germán, Blangs, and Cryptonio. Sometimes you want to go where everyone knows your name, but for Germán, this is the police station Benaderas, but for the rest of us, it's the Stakehouse, where if there were drinks, they would be free. Probably. Just quickly to say before we go on, we don't represent our employers in any way, and the opinions we express tonight are our own. We might talk about cryptocurrencies. Don't take anything we say as investment advice, or you'll probably lose all of your money, and prost to the chaos. Let's go to my lovely co-hosts in alphabetical order. My partners in crime, by which I mean the occasional crypto heist, or just stealing virtual sips from someone's pint. We have Blangs, our gaming expert in Phoenix, Arizona, the man that can talk a steak onto a grill. Moving on, we have Cryptonio, our general crypto dude, who's more interested in the liquid gold in the bar. And of course, we have Germán, our tech expert. So let's pick on one of them. Blangs, what's occurring? How are you doing, sir?
Sir, I am amazing. Thank you for having me. You have heaped on so many compliments, and I tend to think you're being cheeky. No, welcome. Thank you. I appreciate you. Yes, I have wasted all my life in the last 16 hours playing Reaper Actual. I have been doing nothing more. Do not tell my boss. He expects me to be doing work, but instead I have been streaming, playing video games. Thank you for having me.
But that's your work though, so you can claim poverty, but
no. It's I'm not supposed to be playing this much.
Well, moving over to our entry from Greece, how are we doing, Cryptonia? What's going on?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. I was just working on some CRP stuff. I was also drawn in a lot by the Reaper Actual drop yesterday, but we'll talk about that later. The weather finally gets better. We had sudden drop here in Greece, but now it's getting back to being nice. And yeah, I'm too excited for this first episode of Stakehouse.
Amazing. Right, well, moving on finally to Germán, our tech expert. You've got a bit of a cough, haven't you? What's going on, man?
Yeah, I've been better, but I think I will survive. It's great. Busy week. We have Etherlink governance process going around, the Evisu kernel upgrade. We also have a lot of news coming on the protocol side for the upcoming T proposal. So it's been a busy week. I'm a bit excited and I'd say anxious about doing this with our faces instead of our avatars. It feels maybe people will be disappointed that we are not as good looking.
Well, I mean, we've done them in the past, and we've always said that we had faces made for radio, and here we are on the television. So let's give it a go. If the lenses break, then so be it. So first off, we're going to go around and we're going to talk about our highlights and the cool things that we think have happened in either Tezos or generally. Let's see, Cryptonio, what's your highlights, sir?
Highlights. Well, too many stuff that happened in the ecosystem, but I think that one main thing that I was looking at and paying attention to was, the staking ratio and how it was going, because we keep reaching new all-time highs in the staking ratio, and we had the stake timber last month, which I think might have helped. Also, it was a nice campaign. We had memes and stuff. So yeah, I think that's one of the main things I was looking at.
And what's your cool thing? You have to have a cool thing as well as a highlight. Or was that the cool thing?
One cool thing. The Tez.cool website, which we have the community member working on that who created it. And you can see the staking ratio, the issuance, the burn supply, the total accounts, all the good stats around the Tezos ecosystem. And now he also added an ecosystem map, which basically shows projects on each category, DeFi and stuff like that. It's an easy website to remember, tez.cool. So I found that to be pretty cool,
That is kind of cool, yeah.
It
By
is cool.
definition. Okay,
Yeah.
Blangs, what's your highlight and cool thing then? Other than the fact that you've been sitting in the same chair for 16 hours, and I hope it's one of those
I get
special
up. I
games
mean, I will
ones.
stand up. You saw me stand up 10 minutes ago. You're lying. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, yeah, if I had sat in this chair for 16 hours, that would be horrible. I couldn't even imagine. My back is screaming thinking. Anyway, I have been looking forward to this Reaper Actual since it's been announced at TesDev, and to actually have it dropped in my lap and be able to play this thing. It's a game built by gamers for gamers with gamers in mind. And quite honestly, for what I've experienced, and I know it's not the same for everybody, but this is for an alpha. It's one of the smoothest games I've played. I've played a lot of janky, independent, fun things. And this thing has got me excited. But the cool thing, though, man, I think that really got me excited this year, or this quarter at least, that vibe-coded game, Appleville, that they threw together, that idle farming pixel game. I love mobile games. Mobile gaming is probably the biggest gaming intersection in the world. More gamers play on their phone than any other type of way. And that Appleville game, man, they nailed it between the sounds, the way it feels, the idle mechanics. I mean, it feels like I'm playing some solid App Store game, and that was all just thrown together to see what they come up with. That got me really excited, especially we can start integrating more stuff like this, getting people empowered to have ideas that maybe don't know how to do things. That's exciting. That got me excited, Chris.
That sounds exciting to me. So yeah, they were good. I'm also quite excited about Reaper Actual as well, and I think we're going to talk a lot more about that. In fact, I think we're going to see it. Are we going to see it later on?
I got it loaded up. We can definitely attempt to get me to share my screen, and you can watch me get wrecked. How's that sound?
Right, by the power of the internet. Right. Well, that leaves Germán. So come on then. What's your highlight and cool thing?
Yeah, I think it's highlight. I would like to say Reaper Actual, but I couldn't. I was only allowed to play for 15 minutes during TesDev.
And you put a bounty on my head, man.
And I put a bounty on your head, and now I should put a bounty on Blangs, and I have at least one fellow baker going after your head. So I'm a man of my word. So if he delivers your head in an NFT form, I need to clarify just in case HR is listening that I'm not. It's an NFT of Cryptonio getting fragged. The baker that delivers that gets a stake from me. So it's my way to join, as I cannot join the alpha because of my
challenge.
Yeah, well, I didn't update my gaming rig. I can barely play Civilization 6 with what I have, so I need to hope. I hope also that Santa is listening as well. Cool stuff otherwise. I've been playing a bit with the getting excited about maybe some of the nerdy technical stuff that we are seeing, as we said before. Like we see that the Tezos signer is maturing, and kind of like finally have some tutorials out, even some videos, and or like assembly, and trying to see if kind of like looking forward to seeing maybe soon bakers embracing the future of layer 1 consensus on mainnet. And yeah, that's kind of like, I guess, on the Tezos side. One kind of like a bit of a geek, another geek stuff I've seen about. I was on a really cool presentation about maps, because it's a bit of a nerdy thing on the Royal Geographical Society last Monday, and it was I ended up buying the book because back there I have like several books on infographics and maps, and it's kind of like it was a cool talk by a professor in UCL about basically he inherited an old map room and ended up showing the history of some stuff, old pieces and kind of thing. So it's a kind of like a different nerdy avenue that I'm getting into it, and I don't know, felt I needed to.
That was the Royal Geographic Society.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was there a couple of months ago for another book launch, a very interesting book on maps of the world and looking from countries out. So yeah,
Anyway.
good stuff going on. So
Yeah.
I suppose you want to know what mine is then.
I was
So
going to
gonna
ask this. What about you?
Nah, we
Yeah.
can skip Chris. It's okay. No, go. Yeah, Chris,
enough.
what's yours?
Yeah, what's mine? Well, I was going to say Reaper Actual actually, but I don't have a gaming rig yet to play it, so I've got to go and think carefully about that. I think the highlight for the last couple of weeks has been how smoothly we switched to the Sol protocol. In fact, I don't think anyone noticed. No one noticed on GhostNet, and on mainnet it was seamless. So that's brilliant. It's good when people don't notice, which means that there's no problem.
It's wild. I remember there was a time early on where we would all gather around, probably about 30 minutes prior, and we would just kind of wait and watch just to see, just to wonder. And now it's almost assumed that it's going to be smooth, and I don't know, it's expected. You've done well, guys. You've done well. Thank you.
Well, Herman and I did a podcast during this time, and there was some nerves around that in case something went wrong, but nothing went wrong. So that was good. And then the cool thing is I went on holiday, and I managed to go on holiday and book the holiday without Zaina having the protocol switch during my holiday, because it's sort of a Tezos law thing that I book my holidays and then they inject the proposal. So exactly the switchover is on a day when I'm sort of, at 4 o'clock in the morning on an aeroplane or something.
Have you booked your next holidays yet?
I'm working on it.
No, he's waiting for the injection of tea.
So I can plead poverty.
Yeah,
but we are waiting for this holiday, So it's kind of like...
I want to go to Rome this year when it's in November. I want to get away to Rome. Just for a weekend or something, but yeah,
that should be safe.
I haven't got any money. Well, that was the highlights and the cool things. Now, it would not be a bar if there wasn't a booze element to it. So apologies to anyone that doesn't do booze. I know Cryptonio's got something on the go there. What have you got on the go there?
Go on. I just got beer.
Right, okay. Does anyone else have anything to share?
I have I didn't want you to feel lonely like an old geezer with a booze, so I opened myself an easygoing wine.
Old geezer? What talk is this? Blangs, for you it's about 9 o'clock in the morning, isn't it? So it's sort of.
I have what we have colloquially termed a fridge cigarette right here. I have a fridge cigarette.
Fridge cigarette. Okay.
It's an energy drink, fridge cigarette.
Well, I'm glad you asked, because I found this little number in Sainsbury's just now. A bit of product placement. It's a nice little Shiraz, and I wanted the bottle for a candle holder. So that is drinking quite nicely, actually. I was quite surprised.
That's a big bottle. That's a Magnum.
It is just a normal bottle in a different shape.
It's a family pack.
This is 750
the extra
ml.
size. It's plus sized for your enjoyment.
Yes, for your pleasure, sir. Okay, now let's talk about some stuff. So I think just for people coming up, the things that we're going to be talking about probably being Sol, the new consensus and companion keys, staking, because it's in the name. We're definitely going to talk about Reaper Actual, probably going to talk about Etherlink governance, all sorts of other stuff, and then we're just going to go for it. So I think let's talk a little bit about Sol, and I'm not talking about the music, I'm talking about the upgrade. Herman, you're probably the best man to talk about this. So do you want to give us a summary of what happened or what didn't happen?
Well, we already said.
By the way, cheers. Yeah.
Yes. Cheers.
We're allowed to do that on video. Yeah. Cheers, everyone.
So, as you guys said, it was indeed a quite smooth upgrade. So that means that a lot of good and none of the bad happened. But but I think that Seoul had three main features. The first one was what is called aggregated attestations. It's a bit technical, but we can say that it's kind of like a step towards, like we were saying before, the future of what Tezos X consensus will look on layer 1, right? So we want to make Tezos layer 1 a fast staking settlement layer for everything that is coming on top. That involves modernizing our stack, because it's been running for some time, and so we need to make some changes to keep in line with the future. And in particular, aggregated attestations, what it means, it's a way of by relying on the properties of the cryptographic properties of a BLS signature scheme, so basically what we know as TZ4 addresses. We can combine the different consensus votes from all the bakers into a single one. So instead of having in the block, as we have today, 150, more or less 140, or a bit higher, individual consensus votes that attest to each block from the bakers, we can compress the different consensus votes when they're signed by TZ4 addresses into a single one. That would allow us a little bit to save storage, to save bandwidth, which it kind of on one side goes to basically allowing us to go to further reductions in latency, as we are, it's Christmas in SX. And as I was saying, like something that we're indeed planning to maybe propose for Protocol T to reduce latency. But on the other side, it also will allow us, and it's maybe a segue to talk a little later about the next proposal, to simplify the way that the layer 1 consensus works. Today, we have not every baker participates on the votes for each block. So we have what we call a consensus committee, that it's a sample of a smaller number of the set, and where kind of aggregated attestations is one of the pieces that would allow us to basically get rid of that, enable bakers to participate in all the layers. So we have like a simpler logic. We don't have to keep track of who is in the committee and whatnot. I should also help a little bit with the sort of the variance that we get in writes. So if you're a small baker like me, you know that sometimes some cycles you have like you don't are active as much as on others, because you are not always in the committee. And so basically we are looking forward to making a bit modernizing layer 1, and aggregated attestations is the first building block to that. Yes.
Yes. So that we bakers will need to switch to TZ4 keys, right? For that to be, or delegate consensus to a TZ4.
Eventually, like I said, so in order to take advantage of aggregated attestations, the consensus operations on the blocks will need to be signed with a TZ4 address. Of course, like existing bakers can do that by adopting a consensus key. And of course, there's we have shared a number of different projects. There's, for instance, there's 2 different hardware signers in development, one by Nomadic Labs and one by Test Capital, which is kind of like a bit of like a replacement of your Ledger device to hold the keys. And these are devices specialized to provide you with the fast signing specifically for these keys. And then, of course, the team at ECAD Labs is working on, well, it's already developed a solution where you can use Nitro enclaves on AWS or confidential spaces in Google Cloud to basically provide remote signer support for these curves, right? So yes, so we are in the early stages, and this kind of like but eventually, when
Germán,
enough of the bakers adopt this new technology, it will allow us to deploy these simplifications in the future.
I was gonna ask, like, so can bakers, if they want to, can they already move to a TZ4 address?
Yes, and we think that we have, at least we saw it. I saw some even quite early after the adoption of Seoul. We saw one of the few bakers that have already activated the TC4 consensus key. One notably is ECAD, so I think that they are using their own. But I see some other private bakers. I'm not sure if they are using maybe not a signer but a paper wallet.
Captain Stake apparently.
Captain Stake did it today.
Yes,
is it active?
He did. So not
is
yet.
It active?
So of course the thing to remember here is that if you're using a TZ4 key for consensus, you also need to have another TZ4 key called a companion key as well, right? And the baker needs to be able to sign with both those keys. So that's something to take away and think about.
Indeed. But
is there like a threshold of how many bakers need to run on TZ4 addresses before or do the aggregated attestations work anyway? Like,
so I think we need to split.
It's a separate thing, right?
On Seoul today, what we have today is just aggregated attestations.
It's already everything is with aggregated attestations already.
So there are no changes in how the bakers are selected.
Okay.
What we have, what has been presented in Agora earlier this week or end of last week, probably. It's one of the next steps, and what is one we are the core teams are proposing for Protocol T, in which when we get to a threshold of having 50% of the bakers aggregating their attestations by using a TZ4 addresses, automatically the protocol will stop computing the consensus committees for the upcoming cycles and will include everybody in the committee. So which doesn't mean that...
At that point, it means that if 50% of bakers, you said 50%, right?
Yeah.
If 50% of bakers run on TZ4s and the protocol starts to pulling all the bakers into the consensus every time in every block, the others will also need to upgrade. Otherwise, they will start or it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter because they will keep in that case. What will happen is like anyone that is on a TZ4 will be aggregated to a single attestation, and the rest will continue to work as normal. What would happen is that because we have enough compression done with the aggregated attestations, we can get rid of computing the consensus committee, and we can have every baker attesting on every level, right?
And I think that it will when that happens, it will reduce like the load on consensus and on the chain like by big factor. I remember something like 10 times lower or something the size.
Yeah, even a bit further, but I think that the upper bound on that, the maximum reduction of the of the space footprint in the sense, it assumes that everybody moves to TZ4. So I think that probably maybe it's 10x if we do when we are in 50%. I kind of need to check the numbers exactly, but basically it's a progressive sort of improvement in that sense, because that's kind of like.
Does that affect it at all in terms of like does it affect since it becomes lighter, I'm thinking, does it affect the hardware requirements? Like it makes it easier for lower hardware that is validating and stuff, or not? Or it doesn't affect it at all?
Well, it does. It does it does reduce the footprint, the storage footprint. It's specifically significant if you're running an archive node. It might help the performance of if you're running an RPC node, or if you're running like serving an indexer API. In terms of the particular individual performance, yes, but also at this other time, we are planning to reduce a little bit like latency further. And if you see we are in the we have pushed a heads up article about moving from 8 seconds to 6 seconds in the for the protocol proposal T, and there we are keeping a little bit we are adjusting a little bit the minimal hardware requirements, not that much. I think that the grosso modo they are still more or less the same in terms of RAM. It's still, it's still done under the same premise. We want to keep running a Baker affordable in the term, because this is indeed the key to improving decentralization, right? The premise is that home bakers should be able to run a validator, to run a test baker with off-the-shelf, hardware, small nuke. Chris has, posted a couple of times saying, "Hey guys, look at this 150 quid machine that is on sale on Amazon. This could run a baker."
Yeah.
And of course, it's a balance, because we want to be performant. We want to compete, specifically with other chains that have, like, at the moment, lower latency. But it's a trade-off. We want to do better without leaving people behind. But at some point, so maybe it means that in the future, some people that are running some Raspberry Pis that would only have 8 gigabytes of memory, they might need to at least get a new Raspberry Pi. Or
I think they'd probably struggle now, to be honest, on 8 gig. I think if you're going to run on a Raspberry Pi, you need a 5 and a 16 gig model for comfort. But just touching back on that, so one of the things with TZ4 keys is that because the BLS standard, there isn't quite a standard yet, right? So there isn't a hardware security module out there that supports the curve yet. And that's why people are turning to these secure compute options to hold the key.
Yeah.
Right. So I think one of the challenges is for the bigger people, like the bakers I run, and also for the exchanges, is to switch to these keys. And I'm looking at a solution for that. I'm working with Jev on it. But you've touched on it already, right? So what's the solution for the baker at home if they want to keep their key off their machine?
Well, like I said before, so we've seen 2 solutions come out already in the community. One is being developed by the team at Nomadic, so all friends there. We're calling the Tezos RPi BLS signer, which is indeed it's a bit of a do yourself exercise, but I guess it's a point of doing like. It's an opportunity to do a little bit of, it's an open source product. We have been doing a bit of extended testing with some usual suspects in the community. I think some of them had posted their experiments on SeulNet. So basically this is, I don't have it here because it's plugged to my SeulNet Baker downstairs. But anyway, so the board is Raspberry Pi 0v2. It has an e-ink reader, an SD card, and so basically inside it runs the Octet signer. It provides 2 keys. Like Chris said before, it provides a TZ4 consensus key and a TZ4 DAL companion key. You plug it to your Baker as if you were plugging a ledger. The difference is that you import the key as if we're talking from a remote signer. It uses the TCP port to connect. For extra security, you can, after you have configured, you can close, for instance, access to the device. And it's on other files, it works like a ledger. It's way faster than a ledger. I think that we have we haven't published, I think, the benchmarks, but it's, for instance, significantly faster than the performance I have with like a TZ3 consensus key on a Ledger Plus, right? And this is one of the solutions. So that if you see us out, there are a couple of videos going around on how to deploy it and test it on test networks. And then we have TestSign as well, that it's a similar device. there are some subtle design changes. It's being developed. It was proposed by the Test Capital team, and I think they are getting some community funding via the AO. Their device is a little different, so it's interesting because we have a discussion about the philosophy and this kind of stuff. They don't have a screen. It's supposed to be like a plug and play, and then there's a bit of technical differences in, for instance, in the access to the keys and in the security model. So I think it's good that we are having these discussions and this interest into building kind of these solutions. I think it's an opportunity to move away from closed source devices. Ledgers work well, they are great, but maybe they are, especially if you see the direction that Ledger is going with their devices, they are not clearly thinking this. They are not thinking these devices to be consensus signers, because they are not. Some of the problems that we have with these devices is that they are not intended to be done. They are intended to send transactions occasionally. They are intended to keep your funds secure, so they are not used for the account of use that we are doing in a high throughput.
Isn't it true? I mean, I think the Tezos baking app is probably the only app on the ledger that is used for signing on a chain. Yeah. And it was, I'm not saying it was a hack, it was always an ingenious thing to do at the time.
Indeed.
As time has gone on, it's not the hardware's not fast enough. I mean, it keeps your key very secure. No one's going to get the key off it.
Yeah, and it's kind of like saying, we are not saying that you need to throw them away. You can keep them for staking your funds, for keeping your funds secure, but it's kind of and it's not just the Tezos thing. If you go, for instance, on Ethereum, they on all the chains, they are working on a similar model in which you are using BLS and faster keys. And but I think that's also this. There's two also opportunities. One is on the affordable decentralization, kind of, because we speak about decentralization, but there's it's a spectrum, right? So there are networks that the barrier of entry is quite high, and indeed, the devices like HSMs that are expensive for a home baker. And one of the points that we are having here is that it's less than $100 to get the pieces that you need to assemble this. Of course, at some point in the future, we might need to think how to, of course, there's plenty of us that would like to spend a couple of hours on a Saturday assembling their own signer. Some other people might want to have like a, off-the-shelf solution, and probably that will come in the future or will materialize in the future somehow. But I think it's a problem that also happens in the industry in general, not just for Tezos. But I think it's also a good. So there's the affordable aspect of saying, okay, you don't need to spend $2,000 on a HSM card that can support your key. So $100.
No, yeah, it has always been a strong point for Tezos that the cost to start validating to become a baker has been low, not just for the stake you are required to have, but also for the hardware. Like it's always been like low, and it helps with the decentralization for sure.
I've got two PCs in the garage. They're 150 quid. They're second hand. They've got SSD drives. That's about the sexiest thing on them. And they're they're second hand desktops, and they run absolutely fine. And in fact, one or two bakers, when they've been in trouble, have said, "Can help?" And I've just put a consensus key on. They've baked from here on a home connection.
But there were some more important features in Soul, right, Germán?
Yeah. So, well, I don't know if important. There was also kind of other user-facing changes. One is this. It's also related to BLS, but it was just kind of this idea of now being able to support native multi-sig accounts. So basically, it's again based on the properties of the BLS cryptographic curve. So basically, there's a bit of a community request we have had for some time on being able to support, for instance, staking multisig. And now, thanks to Seoul, we have the foundations to start building those kind of applications. We actually support 2 different models of implementing multisigs. For instance, we can have one in which the 4 of us need to, sign every operation that we do, and that's kind of what we call an N of N or multisig that is based on signature aggregation. And basically, it means that we take the existing addresses that we have, and each of us sign our operation, we get them together, we combine the signatures, and it's a kind of a validation of how you say the 4 of us stake with me.
Could this be used for baking as well? Like, could someone have a multisig for baking to use it for that? Like,
so anything
pull in, some funds and start a bakery on a multisig?
Yeah, that's also another of the. So basically, we have 2 use cases that we showcased in a bit on our tutorials. They're a bit involved at the moment because we still, we need. This is at the protocol level. We need to get the wallets there. We need to get the applications there. We need to work a little bit on how to make this UX wise.
And is there user experience? Yeah,
and it creates user experience because.
I was just going to say, this is TZ4 keys, right? You have these. This is another BLS feature, right?
Yeah.
Or can you do it with TZ1?
No, it's just exclusive to TZ4 because it's based on the properties on the like the theory behind the 2 is similar to the one behind aggregated attestations. It's a property that the BLS core has that you can aggregate signatures and signatures of messages together. So, and one interesting thing that you're saying about baking is basically anything that what is called a manager account can do. So basically anything what we call a user account can do, anything that the regular TZ4 address can do: deploy a smart contract, stake, unstake, start a baker, transfer, deploy its own rollup. Anything that can be done by a multisig account, because the interesting thing is, to the eyes of the protocol, a multisig account is just an account. So it's a bit like opaque whether a TC4 address is there's only one person, there's only one private key, or it's an aggregation, right? So it's a bit like magic. It's a mathematical properties that we have on the underlying cryptography. And one of the examples is because we have this request of maybe pooling funds to stake on a baker. This is something, for instance, that you can do now. The support is a bit limited. At the moment,
what other use cases are there? I'm thinking a treasury, probably, right, to handle the
treasury.
Yes.
Yeah,
You can deploy, even like a treasury. You have control of the contracts, for instance. Even like today, even if you want to deploy a rollup, there's an originator key, so you can even multisig the account that deploys the rollup, right?
Wait, I have a question. First of all, is there a limit on how many signatures an account can have? Like, is there a limit? Like, could you have 100 signatures on the same account required for this multisig account? Because I'm thinking a crazy thought, but if you put enough signatures, you kind of have created a DAO, right? On a native account.
Yeah, it's like a very basic. So basically, it's a protocol
very
level
basic.
layer.
Yeah.
I have to be completely honest. I'm not sure if there's
a threshold.
If there's a limit. No, there's 2 things, like threshold here, but it's a different thing. So threshold is the other approach to building a multisig, in which you define at the beginning and once for all how many of the signatures are needed to validate. So, for instance, we could go for 2 of 4 or 3 of 4 as a minimum.
So
I don't know. I kind of
Chris would require.
I'm not sure if there's an upper bound on how many signatures we can use. I think one thing that you need to have in mind is, like, the larger the signature, the larger the multisig, and the larger the threshold, the more off-chain work you need to do to gather information.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
So yeah.
But this is brilliant, because I run outside of Tezos, I have a business, so it's up there, and we keep our treasury in cryptocurrency.
Too dark.
Yeah, I know it's too dark. Sorry, but we keep our treasury in cryptocurrency, and at the moment, we've got a Revolut account, and we can just move it around. But if we had a multi-sig on that, all of a sudden you've got the same business rules that you might have on a financial sign-off. So having 2 people sign it off out of 3 is a great thing, and it's all on chain. It's part of the
and it's secure.
protocol.
It's secure as well. Like that you can't have one person do any move, and it adds security. Even if one is robbed, they cannot steal these funds. No single person can do it. Crazy.
Exactly. It's a very good feature, and it will probably have lots of applications going forward.
Yeah,
that's cool and all, but my favorite feature was the implementation of Fin.
Oh yeah,
Fin.
About sale. Yeah.
That's
Fin, the new bot. Yes.
Fin, the new bot. Fin, the finalization bot. So yeah, this is kind of like this was in terms of effort. Maybe it was the smallest of the features, but it's basically the only thing that it's the only change on the protocol code was. I think it was the protocol change. If it was more removing lines than adding, so it's nice.
Okay.
Which speaks really very well of the modular design that we have there for the implementation, right? So basically, in the original, so pre-Seoul, the user, so unstaking was a 2-steps approach, right? So a two-step process. You need to first say, okay, I want to unstake X, and then after the 4 cycles had passed, you need to go and hit finalize and get your funds be available in your account.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of like one feedback we got discussing with some people saying, hey, I would really, kind of, after you explain to people why they need to wait for it to be safe to receive the fund back, why they don't, you cannot get your funds immediately. It has to be secure in terms of for the POS mechanism to be maybe to ensure that we can unfreeze the funds. The second question is, okay, but why do I need to go back, right? And thinking a little bit, basically what we sort of compromised at the beginning, there was discussions whether it might not be convenient or at the moment to do all these computations automatically at the end of each cycle. So Fin, the bot, and this change, what they propose, it's a bit of an alternative, like a bit of a hybrid on-chain off-chain solution, similar how all bridges operate, even even the fast withdrawal bridge, for instance, for Etherlink. So we do have already instances of cases where you have a combination of on-chain logic in a way with an off-chain automated service. And on the protocol side, the change is easy. We just removed the restriction that said that the user had to be the one running the finalization themselves. So this is because...
Wait, we lost you there. What happened?
Yeah.
You're back.
He's deep in thought. He's deep in thought right
That's
there.
fine. So what they changed, from what I understand...
Yeah, sorry. Let me finish this. I had knock at the door and got distracted. So basically what we changed...
His dinner's on the table. That's what it is.
Yes.
He's in trouble.
No. It's kind of... So basically what we changed is the ability to... the ability for the... so the requirement that the sender of the finalization had to be the staker, right? And this was in a way a restriction in the protocol. What the Fin enables is for anyone to run the finalization for any stake on behalf of anyone.
So basically, if Blangs went ahead and unstaked his Tez after 4 cycles, I can go and finalize his unstaking. I'm not taking the stake. Obviously, it still remains.
What do you mean?
his.
I have to do an extra step? I unstaked
Nah,
4 cycles
yeah.
ago. Where are my Tez? I'm
Nah,
freaking
bro,
out.
We got Finn now.
Help
Nothing-
me,
no need to
Cryptonio.
do anything.
Unstake my Tez.
Well, the good news is Finn does it for you.
Yeah, so now you just unstake and just wait for cycles, and the funds become liquid, and you have nothing else to do.
Yeah, I might get in trouble. I had locked Candela outside. So
Just
Maybe-
go do your thing,
maybe-
man.
maybe
We'll be here
I'll
for
be
2
right
hours.
back while you make fun of me. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Don't worry. I'm sure she'll come back. She always does.
Yeah.
Right. Well.
Yeah.
Should I fire up Reaper Actual?
Well, I think we were going to talk a little bit about staking and AI first. Do we want to do that quickly?
No, I want to play
No.
video games. Yeah, we should talk
Okay
about
then.
staking and AI. We should definitely talk about staking and AI.
Let's
Yeah.
quickly, because we introduced. Well, we've always been a proof of stake chain, right? So
Yeah.
all the bakers out there used to have 10% of their balance as the security bond, which was their stake.
Locked. Right.
And a change we made in 2023. I think he's back. Are you okay? Is it all good?
I'm okay. I'm not sure I'm allowed to come and play next time.
Okay then. We should bear that in. We'll fill out paperwork for that. Don't worry. Incident
Yep.
report. Anyway, so basically now we allow any wallet person to stake with a baker, and that their stake contributes to the security bond of the baker.
Yeah, well-
and the baker can also vary it as well. Right. So go on, Cryptonio. I'm talking too much.
We had more changes than just that. Obviously, like we also had the introduction of adaptive issuance, which played a big role. And so basically, in the past, we had a fixed number of coins that was given as a reward every block, right? Regardless of how much Tez we had locked to secure the chain overall. And we only had the ability to lock by baking, validating. The bakers were able to lock. Everyone else would either be holding their Tez idle or they would be delegators. So as you said, then the staker role was introduced, which basically is like the middle ground between a baker and a delegator, meaning you don't have to run the hardware, but you can still contribute directly to the security of the chain. You basically lock your Tez by choosing a baker. You lock it with him. The Tez remains in your wallet. It never leaves your wallet, but it gets locked for 4 cycles, as we were discussing earlier, which is 4 days now. And that way you're getting more rewards as a baker, because we also adjusted how much reward a delegator gets, how much reward a baker or a staker gets. And right now the ratio is like a staker is getting 3 times what a delegator is getting by the protocol. But the main thing here is that we had the introduction of adaptive issuance, and that took us from having a standard number of coins, each block being minted, fixed, right, to becoming adjustable based on how secure the chain is. Basically, what we're trying to avoid is to overpay for security. Like when you have a lot of Tez being locked, securing the chain, being put as bonds for every block and everything, you don't have the need to pay too much. You don't have to incentivize more people to join. So there was a goal set at around 50%. I think it was the 50% mark as a goal to staked ratio. And when we started this new adaptive issuance, the locked Tez were at 8%. And now they have reached 27%. Why? Because there was a high incentive. At some point at the beginning, we had like 19% APY for stakers and bakers. Obviously, immediately people joined, locked Tez, and that started dropping. Right now, I think it is at around 10%, 9 point something. And at the same time, the issuance has dropped below 4%, like which is lower than what we had before. Adaptive issuance. We had like 4.6 at the lowest, I think, or 4.8, something like that. And now we are below 4% already, which is another good point that the more stake we are getting, the less issuance we will have, the more scarce Tez becomes, basically. So there are a lot of good things around that. And we had the Stake Timber campaign in September, which we saw that for the past, I don't know, let me check. For the past, at least a couple months, we have steadily been growing. The last 2% were slower, but we kind of skyrocketed up to 20%. Then from there, it was still fast up to 25% of staking ratio. And now we're steadily growing and trying to get more and more. We need to keep in mind that there are big chunks that are sitting on exchanges and stuff that are not staked. If we get those as well, they will help a lot. But many big bakers already staked and opened to accept stakers. So I think we are on a good path on that. We can do better for sure. We definitely need more people to realize that there is not really any huge risk, bigger risk than delegation, right? You are prone to getting slashed if the baker you are staking to gets slashed. But overall, we had very, very rare slashing incidents in the 7 years that the network is live. And now also the slashing has become adaptive. So it's not that penalizing as it used to be in the past.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
but is the aspiration is right to have for every free Tez, as it were, to have a Tez staked, so that the idea you have 50% staked, 50% of the network supply is securing the network, and the other 50% is fluid. And I think that was the original aspiration. So we are heading in that direction.
Yeah, it would be great to reach it, to be honest, and it would be great to get more people to stake. It's just 4 days lockup. Just for this, and now you don't. It's just one unstake. You just unstake it. As we said, we don't have to finalize. You don't have to do anything. Just wait 4 days, and your funds are liquid. And it's much shorter than other proof of stake chains. Without saying names, we have some that are 17 days lockup. We have others that are almost a month lockup. Not to even mention like on Ethereum, where you need to be validated, or where you don't know sometimes how long it will take.
Ethereum,
kind of like
what's
what I wanted
what's
to
that?
I don't know. I don't. I've heard it somewhere. No.
But did you read that on? Did you read that on the internet?
I read that on the internet.
I saw it on TikTok.
There you are,
I don't know.
I can't read.
And I think one point there is kind of like currently we are our unstaking in a way we are just based on the minimal time it takes to make it for the system safe to be found. Where other like you said, other chains, in particular Ethereum, they have this notion of a queue that is not as much had to do with the security of the chain, but with friction and with like the actual availability of being able to swap your liquid token for actual Ether, right? So because in a way, any synthetic token is an IOU for the real token, and our IOUs are distributed by the protocol automatically without intermediaries. Fin is delivering you to the door in a way, but it's a protocol that unlocks them, and you can see Fin as your.
It's also important to mention that the staking rewards do not come to your wallet. That's what Germán is saying regarding the EU tokens from the protocol. Is that the staking rewards do not come as a transaction like it happens with the delegation rewards. They accumulate inside your staked balance. So you just see your staked balance growing in a way in your wallet, and also if you go to the TZKit Explorer and you put in your address, you can go to the rewards tab and you can see specifically how much rewards you get every day now. So keep that in mind. If you stake for the first time and you don't see transactions coming in, don't get panicked. the rewards are probably in your balance growing, because I've seen that question a lot around.
Because otherwise you will see a lot of them. Because with kind of when you stake on Tezos, you if you're a staker, you'll get rewards each time your baker gets an opportunity. And if you stake with the with the large baker that gets a lot of opportunities, let's say you get a bit of the rewards each time a block is baked. You get a bit of the rewards each time you're you get rewards at the end of the cycle. So there's a bit of subtle technical reasons why it's implemented the way it is, and they have to be that which is truly native, so enshrined in a way protocol staking. But jumping back a bit on what you were saying on the ratio, I think one of the things that has been helpful in pushing a bit the needle as well has been Stacy.5 recently, which provides a little bit of the complement, because it's kind of that's a different solution. It's a liquid staking token. It's more similar to what people maybe in other ecosystems like EVM, Ethereum might be expecting. But yes, this has different risks because it's a custodial solution. You send your test to the project, you get an IOU that is called a Stacy token. It has a lower reward than actually doing native staking, because basically you need to compensate for the bakers running the service for you. It has, of course, different advantages, because it means, for instance, that if you want to, they have a similar process to unstake and finalize in a way. If you want to swap your tokens back, and you need to wait, but the fact that they have a liquid token also gives you this ability to say, okay, there are DEXs, there are markets where you can, of course, at the market premium, you are able to unstake automatically, right? So it gives you this complement also in between. Okay, I go full native into the protocol and stake, or I can also have this option in between that allows me to, if you have liquid test laying around, there's no reason why not to have it in Stacy token, because basically, and they can also, they have been recently, they are becoming a bit of an important building block in the DeFi ecosystem, both on layer 1 and on layer 2. I think that TestFin announced recently that they can be used as collateral on layer 1. They can be integrated in Superland. So we've seen a lot of since the Stacy happened. I think it has been grown. So I think it's also part the adoption of this project into what is.
I think it makes more sense for DeFi users. The Stacy XTZ makes more sense. But
for sure,
if you are, for example, an artist, it's not the same as holding Tez for you, because you basically interact with art mostly, and so you buy art with XTZ, not with STXTZ, right? But for the DeFi aspect, it makes much more sense. And I just wanted to mention that another thing that is important about holding XTZ in your wallet, because, for example, for artists, an important aspect why they don't stake is the lockup, and they want to have funds liquid for when a good opportunity shows up and they want to buy and collect and support others. But we need to remember that you don't have to stake your whole wallet. You can stake just a percentage of your wallet. So if you have just a random number, let's say 100 XTZ, you can stake 70 XTZ, and the other 30 will be automatically delegated, obviously, and they will remain liquid. So you keep a small percentage liquid to do your everyday stuff.
Yeah.
And if you need more, that when a week, a big drop will happen and you don't have enough, you can unstake in 4 days, right? So
if you remember, I proposed on a community call a couple of months ago, I said, let's get rid of delegating, and everyone went, like that. But of course, if you did that, you would make your staking rewards more healthy, so that if you staked half of your wallet, you'd be getting something similar. But that's pie in the sky. Right, look, we're at the hour, and Blangs hasn't played any games yet, and he must be getting a bit itchy because he can't read.
It's been an hour. I'm tired. I gotta go. I'm kidding. Yeah. We can throw it up
So-
here.
Wait, before we play, why don't you fill us in a little bit, Blanks, about the Reaper Actual? Like, what happened with the drop? What are
Sure.
the options right now?
Well-
Can people play it right now?
Yeah. So if you want to get involved, Reaper Actual has dropped their Foundation Alpha packs. Now, I'm not sure if the Stygian packs are still available, which was the limited edition run with the 4 Reapers and the 2 bases. The secondary base is also chock full of loot. They didn't tell you that, but yeah, my vault's full of loot. But anyway, if you want to get involved and you want to check it out, you go to reaperactual.com. They've got a couple links you can chase down. There is the Web 3 version, which is the version I got the second time because I bought the Epic Web 2 version and said, nope, refund that. Give me my money back. I want the Web 3 version. I don't want to just play a game. I want to own my assets. And so the drop was yesterday. It was 9 a.m. PST. It went pretty good. I'm guessing there was a lot of packs sold. I have been running around in Morova, which is the island that you they've sort of geofenced you into the airport section, but you've got active access to their missions. You have access to some other cool stuff. Their loot system is absolutely addicting. It's been coined as Tarkov with a little bit of extras, as someone once said to me. I've also been said you just don't worry about what happens on Morova. You just don't feel bad about what you do or what happens to you. Also, too, anything you bring out into the world, just consider that on loan, because you're either gonna keep it or someone's gonna kill you and take it from you. So, and you probably took it from someone. So everything's on loan. There's like this. It's beautiful.
What's the biggest loot that you had taken from Cryptonio's base?
Well, I didn't take it from Cryptonio's base. You loot these
You can't.
boxes. Like that. I don't think base rating's been implemented yet. But I found what did I find here? It's this. I found a submachine gun worth $1 million.
Ooh.
So I mean, there's good loot out there.
Why was it worth $1 million? I mean, it's just
because it's probably because it can hold like 6 attachments. These guns are limited by their attachments. So like your bottom tier weapons, your white weapons. If you're into like the loot games, you know how they go like white, green, blue, purple, gold. That sort of. They've incorporated it beautifully. If you drop an enemy on the field and they have an item that's like better than white, there's this glowing beacon, and I'm telling you, people are like. They're like crows and shiny things, man. They forget that you're in the middle of a battlefield and they go run out and try to grab the purple shiny. It's fun, man. And
okay, so what shiny thing do I need to buy then to play this game? What sort
what
of
shiny thing?
PC.
PC wise, you're gonna want something a little on the higher end. Cryptonio showed the specs and it made me cringe because that's unfortunately just where we're at with Unreal Engine 5. But you're going to want a 30 series card or better, probably. You're going to want a decent processor. You're going to want at least 32 gigs of RAM. Now that seems like a tall ask, but 5 years ago that was $2,500. Today you could get that in like a second, like last year's top gaming laptop that's on sale for $400. Throw in a stick of RAM and you're good to go. So it's weird. Like 5 years ago, and this also does apply to Tezos too, with baking with a pie and whatnot. I mean, 5 years ago, technology is radically different than it is now. If you take like an iPad from 5 years ago and you try to run anything that they're pushing out, you can't even install the damn app.
No,
there's not enough space on it. So these things have been unfortunately made obsolete just by the nature of how much we've added on top. So thankfully the prices have come down. Like what would be considered top tier maybe 2 years ago is like bargain basement clearance stuff that you can buy. So it's okay not being state of the art right now, and you can still do quite well.
We have to remember that the game is in early pre-alpha, just like
yesterday
was the first
optimized.
Day. Yeah,
poorly optimized.
It's gonna get much better optimized eventually, and we will because I have close to the minimum requirements that they have on their website, which is a 32 gigs RAM, which is a 3070 card, which is like an i5 processor. right?
You
Those were the minimum.
yeah.
And I keep lagging when I get out of the base. So like,
I wish you have done. I wish you had said that before I put the bounty on your head, because now you're telling people you're a sitting duck.
Yeah,
kind of. If you can hit him, he's lagging so bad that I'm sure the hits can't even find him.
It's like the Matrix.
He's Matrix boy. You know?
I'm just camping behind the bushes with a sniper, and
he just follows Johan around, and he's fine.
Yeah.
What about things like your hard disk and stuff like that? Do you need solid state?
So I mean, solid state always. I mean, if you're running a standard like old school disk drive right now, I don't know how you're doing it, to be honest. But I mean,
no, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know anyone with one, to be honest.
We have a laptop that my wife uses that has one, and it's really funny because that's the one thing that's slowing down everything. It's not the memory, it's not the processor, it's hard drive access.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, let me see if I could figure out how to share my screen with you, because I guess I have to do that.
Well, I mean, for some people, they're going to see it here first, right? Because not everyone's got access to the drop. Is that it's at the moment you have to be on a list? Is that right?
Okay,
well, you have to have one of these packs. Hold on, I did it wrong. I'm not going to share audio because it might do a weird thing with the audio, so you guys aren't going to be able to necessarily hear it. You don't need to, though. I mean, we should be talking. We can
watch you fall over and die.
Yeah. Okay, I got it up.
I can make the sound effects. Don't worry.
Yeah, Cryptonio go pew 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 pew. I'm dead. I'm gonna get you. That kind of stuff. All right, let's see here. Okay, I got it up, I think. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Okay, so right here we've got Havoc. This is your basic. As you can see, this is my vault. It's full of junk. I apologize. I need to do some house cleaning. Havoc is your basic Reaper. This is who you'll start with. He is an assault rifle. That's what he uses. He's got a Kite 9, which is like your 9mm. He does not come with armor. I found this. I put it on. I put armor in it. You don't start with armor. Well, you start with armor if you have a vault. But anyway, he has an ammunition crate and an armor crate. These are things I can drop in game while I'm running around, and I can grab things out of them. They're one-time use like items. The other Reapers I got, so Luna, if you were buying the second tier pack, you got Luna as well. I just recently went out with her and came back with all this. I haven't put it away or sold. So, and it's cool. These Reapers actually maintain their own inventories, as you can see. So Luna, she's a submachine gunner, but I actually swapped out her gun for an arc light. But she was running around with one of these guys. Oh yeah, there it is, the Vector. That's my $1 million gun. But she had obviously an entry level one she starts with. She also had a pistol, which I swapped out for 50 cal. And then she's got the upgraded plate rig. She starts with night vision and an armor pack. Thor is one of the guys that came in the Stygian pack. He's on his basic loadout. He's got this is the same gun that Luna had. He starts with a pistol. Obviously doesn't start with armor. I've just been fortunate enough to not die yet. You'll get to watch me die, I'm sure. He doesn't start with night vision. He starts with, I want to say it's like a healing syringe or something. But then I've got Vibora. Vibora's your shotgunner. I can definitely downrange drop you with buckshot. It's not fair. They need to nerf this shotgun. It's a little too powerful. But it's fun. It's a lot of fun. So right now, since obviously I don't want to lose much, I have Havoc ready to roll. So you'll start off in your base, and it appears that I am...
Why is it so dark?
I don't know, man. Looks like it's nighttime.
Is it night?
I think it's nighttime, sir.
Yeah, but
it happens.
Did somebody come and cut off your lights or what, man?
No, I think it actually it may have actually cycled since I sat in here for so long.
He hasn't paid his bills.
I forgot to pay my bills. I apologize. So here we go. All right, there.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Now you can see. So you've got traders that you can work with. I've been working with Metro, so I've been working on their reaction. I've got level 3 gear unlocked, but if you look at the Obsidian Syndicate, still have to unlock all these. It's you do missions in base. There's a crafting thing. You have to get blueprints. You have to get materials. There's a chance you can have legendary items be produced, and the legendary items are worth the millions. That's the gold item that I showed you. So now that I've selected Havoc and I have a gun, I've got ammo, I've got armor, I'm going to go ahead and drop into Morova. Now you get 4 different spots to drop into right now, and unfortunately, man, we all spawn in the same spot. So there are a couple spawn camping jerks, but you know, it's really funny when somebody who knows you downs you, and then they walk over and they revive you. But anyway, we'll go ahead and start south of the airfield. Now, as you'll notice, this has more of that traditional Call of Duty, like Modern Warfare looking screen. I saw this and instantly got nostalgic, feeling like I was playing some old Modern Warfare 2 or something along those lines.
And the controls feel similar to Call of Duty, right?
Oh my gosh, they are smooth. You can run and sprint.
The lie down and everything.
The sliding, the dolphin diving. Now, I really like what this game has is mantling. You can climb and mantle over pretty much everything, which, I mean, that's something we've always wanted to play. Oh, God, started me right out in the middle of the airfield. You like that? Okay, so that red smoke in the distance, that is an exfil. If you want to be able to take any of this gear with you out, you got to survive. Oh, I can hear gunshots. Okay, so we'll go ahead and accept the mission. Let's see what we got. Let's do out of gas. So what this is it's I mean, it's an example of the missions that, oh God, well, that guy was nice for not killing me, thank God. That was a player. Where'd he go? Okay, there he is. All right, I gotta stay away from players. It's a 50-50 mix, man. Some of these people really are just into the looting and scavenging. They absolutely love it. That's a scav. That's not good. I guess if you're gonna run across the open field, you should probably make yourself hard to shoot. I don't know. Yeah, that's not good. I hear shooting. And I'm in the wide open too, mind you. You probably shouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. But, you know, it works.
Just go kill them already.
When I was playing playing on test dev, I got stuck under the engine. And then
you did?
Yes, I was crawling, and then I said, "Oh shoot, that's not a good spot," and I got stuck under a shed engine and died.
Yeah,
shamelessly.
I love the
napalming. What's that?
Yeah,
you're just shooting them in the back. You want to look into their eyes before you.
What do you want to do? To whistle?
Okay, now here's an example of what I'm talking about. You would think that you couldn't go that way, right? Yeah. But I just climbed over the wall. You can climb on anything in this game. It is freaking awesome. So, like, let's see if I can actually get up on the roof here.
Oh, you gotta go from this side.
Oh, yeah, you can.
Nah, man, that's too much. Come on.
Too high. All right, so, oh God, the fuck?
Yeah, you just walked past him.
Don't mind me, I'm blind. See these glasses? They're on my face.
That was a player.
No, that wasn't a player. That was an NPC.
No, he started glowing afterwards. I think.
Still got.
That was he dropped something.
Right, so.
That was some loot. Cool. That's that shiny, man. That's that your crow instinct kicking in, bro.
Oh, hello.
Oh, I'm down. And there you go. That's it. That would be a player.
Peamot. Okay, we can safely say that he came and stream sniped you, right?
No, I don't even think. I bet you this guy has.
I'm
no
just kidding, man.
Streaming.
Come on.
I actually was stream sniped though. I was.
Yeah.
By homeless.
And how does it? Is there a game that's similar that you played before that it plays like? I mean, someone told me it played like Call of Duty 2 or something.
This plays very much like old school Call of Duty. I haven't played the new Call of Duty. I couldn't tell you how that feels. Yeah. It feels kind of like a mixture of Battlefield and Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But there's no leaning. There's just okay. So now that I've died, you can see that I have nothing in my rucksack. But this is what I start with. Mm-hmm. So I'll always have this loadout whenever I go out. Now you can also just exit the base. You don't have to deploy. And now I'm giving away my secret where my base is, but that's okay. So I have 2 bases. This is my bunker base that's south of the airfield. There's also, this is my warehouse base. I have a bunker base that's like in the woods. I haven't actually been there yet. I don't really care, but I'll go there eventually. because I mean it constantly starts me in this one, so that doesn't seem to be. All right, so right here, you'll notice I have an entrance to my base. I'm right on the water, and if we look on the map, you'll see that it's situated down here, and this is where my other base is. This is the area currently you can play in. There are all sorts of different hot spots that you can get into. And then each one of these green, like basically squares with arrows, those are exfil points. Those are places that you can extract. So a normal person who's playing this game for the first time probably would just go in through here and grab the stuff in the boxes. Because I mean, like, okay, so this gun's better than the one I've got. See, it's got an extended mag. If we look at the gun, we can see what the attachments are. It's got the extended mag and a long barrel. So this thing's actually way better than the pistol I had. Now, if I wanted to, I can actually remove these attachments on field, swap this. Now, what's funny is this gun's worse than that one. And the reason is you can look at these stats here, and it's all about the color. So this green one is actually better because it has better stats. At least it will eventually. But you can see the big one is the slots. Do you see how it has 3? So I can get more attachments on that one. And that's what you're going to find is the biggest difference between the guns. The higher quality they are, the more attachments you can add. And when you have attachments, which come in boxes like this, well, of course, this one didn't have any. You can on the fly add them. Scopes give a glint, so if you feel like you're being sneaky off into the distance, you're giving yourself away. There's a big fat glint. It's kind of nice. So, man, all I can say is for an alpha, this game has absolutely satisfied me and given. Oh, I got to put the one in the chamber. That reload right there was literally the one extra. I don't know if you saw that. I went from 30 to 31. They did take that extra step into consideration, which as a gamer, I appreciate that extra one in the clip. So let's see here if I can actually find anyone. Okay, these are bad guys. These are actually, you can tell they're NPCs. If you get within range, a little red dot appears over them when you aim at them. See that? And when you're on certain missions, that dot will be blue because the faction will be giving you amnesty.
Those are protecting.
That guy had a family. That guy had a family. You just robbed.
Yeah.
He had a family?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bot, so probably like the family.
He was not doing them justice, man. He could have been so much more work for his family.
NPC family.
Yeah, the family is in some data center and they will reset the VM.
So much binary code.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, we've got terminal breach. There's an event going on. They'll randomly happen throughout. So, like, examples will be like find an NPC, down them, and take what they're carrying. Kill a group moving through a certain area. Hey, look, a dead guy's bag. The looting is pretty addicting. It's very simple, you know. Just click.
How many greedy frags have you gotten? Like,
I have not thrown a single frag yet, man.
How many times did you get killed like while distracted in your looting?
Every time I've been killed, it's because I'm headfirst in my bag like an idiot, you know. There's kind of a saying on these extraction like looter games: you don't loot until it's safe. I'm a terrible shot. Don't judge me. Oop, shotgun. All right.
Yeah,
Do we have?
So on a general, so you're enjoying the experience. Even this is an alpha, right? Are you enjoying the experience? Is it something you want to play?
Hey, look, I was in the middle of something and getting shot. Absolutely loving it.
That's rude.
I don't know how else to explain it. It's got great reaction. It feels good. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's snappy. I don't know. The movement just feels so good. This whole mantling thing is amazing.
Yeah, I got that feeling also when I tested it in July, right? I mean,
right?
What I was wanted to ask, because basically when we had the chance to the launch day, we have a couple of machines there to play around in during test dev, but it was really nerfed. So kind of like you felt you wouldn't die no matter what. So I went.
Oh, dude, I'm dying all the time. Like I don't know if I was playing this like for real, trying to keep track of like my gains. The only reason I have money is I've been running out my base, looting like a little loot goblin, grabbing what I can, and then running right back to my base and selling it and doing missions so that I can buy loot with that really easily gained cash. So
I just want to say to anybody out there, I was checking the page, trying to see whether I should get a pack and then hope that Santa delivers a rig eventually. There seems to be only 10 Sticky and Oath packs left.
That's it?
There's 10 left. Almost gone. It's bubbling there.
Well, I'll tell you, man, I have been playing as all of the extra Reapers, and that bunker base, the warehouse base is killer. So I don't know, man. It's up to you guys. I definitely am enjoying mine. Worth it all the way. But I like, dude, I would pre-order Grand Theft Auto, you know? Oh. Yeah, we traded. Hey, buddy.
That's what happens if you play by the sword.
He bled out.
He killed himself.
Yeah, bled out. But
so
we should
if
also
I had
mention...
a self revive, I could heal myself. Or if there was a player that like wanted to save me, he could. It's amazing how long you live after you go down.
You're slowly bleeding out.
That's very morbid,
isn't it?
So we should make the distinction that for those that are listening, that there are like two versions of the game, one with the Web3 features and one without the Web3 features. So that's why when you go on the site, you can see two different, get the game. One is for the Web3, it's distinct. And
I denied that guy the kill. Did you see that? He didn't even get credit for it because I waited so long. New tactic.
Great.
Oh dear.
With my last breath, I will deny you of the frag.
Yep, that is correct, sir. That is that. Welcome to metagaming at its finest. Yes, I will take advantage of every single loophole in the code to make sure that I get better numbers than you. But yeah, man, this has been an absolute blast. Cool. Here, let me jump in with a different one so you can kind of see the difference. Here, I'll just sell everything she has so you can see how. Now this is kind of a pain because I mean there's no real easy way. There's no like max button. I can't sell that. Okay, then can I destroy it or send it to the vault? That's fine. Sell.
I see we have a lot of people actually tuned in, so we should just tell that if you have any questions about anything you see, just put it down in the comments. We do see the comments, whether they are on X or YouTube or whatever, on all topics that we discussed. And we'll try to answer.
So now I have an armor rig. Do you see how I have 2 plates of armor there on the left? We're gonna deploy down here. This lady has night vision. That's what she starts with, which is it's killer at night. During the day, it's no good. And inside, it's not very good if it's well lit. But they've done a great job. I like their version of the night vision. Instead of doing the like weird old school like green CRT sort of like overlay, it's and I don't know, it's a good one. So I'm gonna turn it on. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's insane. At night, man, this room is completely empty and dark, like completely dark, but that night vision makes a difference. So blockchain for this game. The idea is to cut out the middleman. You're looking at Steam, you're looking at Epic. They have their own marketplaces. They have their own places that you can go to buy and sell assets for games, be it skins, be it even whatever, like, and also too, they're owned internally by that company. So like your Fortnite skin, if Fortnite goes, I don't want you to have it anymore, they can yoink it. That's something that they can do. So why blockchain for this game? It's an opportunity for you to actually own your assets. There was a certain blockchain that was actually the inception for that blockchain came from a company called Blizzard taking away a certain individual's digital assets. I mean, we're not going to talk about that blockchain, but that's where that one started from. And it's been an issue for gamers and anybody who spends any significant time doing anything that they like online. Once these server-based items are gone, once these games disappear, you can't ever enjoy them again. They're just a fond memory. And so this is an opportunity that John saw, that Distinct Possibility Studios saw, to displace the middleman, to create an opportunity for you as the gamer to actually own in-game assets, while at the same time giving you the feeling that you're part of the game, that you're owning it. It's really cool. I like it. So that's why blockchain, sir.
And you can trade it as well.
Yeah, and that's for the user perspective maybe, but also kind of on the other way around. I think kind of like one of the key, I guess, appeals of NFTs or even like tokenization in, like in assets, is that it for the people issuing those, it allows you to basically
$2 million. Okay, I got to get out of here.
Okay.
No, keep going.
I wish
$2 million.
I will mute myself. Sorry.
You just screamed while he was talking, and then says, "Keep going."
Keep going. What I'm saying is like you offload compliance, right? Because basically you don't need to think of the like operating marketplace, or of course, yes, if you're Steam or if you are Blizzard or if you are Ubisoft, you already have maybe the scale to do to like even the legal infrastructure to operate a marketplace, or via some vendors. But if you're an indie developer, if you're like an indie company and you want to have create an economy of skins, mods, whatever around your game, doing it on chain allows you to basically not have to think about all the extra burdens that have to do with giving your players ownership of assets in a way, right? So I think it works both ways. The benefit, it's not about cutting the middleman for the user, for the gamer, but also for the dev studios, especially smaller dev studios that don't have a legal department that can take care of this stuff, right?
Yeah, and also by making the assets like NFTs, basically, you can also, if you allow this free trading of the items and outside of the game as well, the NFTs also can have set royalties and stuff. So you also solve a problem where we see, for example, there are black and gray skin markets for the CS2, right? Where sales are happening off the book, let's say, and the companies don't get any part of that trade. So that's also another benefit. That's another benefit for the developers, that they will allow the sales to happen wherever they happen, but they will be getting a royalty, right, from the sales.
Yeah, I love it. I've always loved, I like signing in with my wallet. Am I weird? I like that I can just, because I have those private keys, because I'm the only one who does. I mean, it's me. It's better than a fingerprint. It's better than an eye scan, because it's not me. I don't know. I like that. It's better than a password.
I can give you some sites to sign in with your wallet if you want, Blangs.
Oh, and I won't touch them. I won't go near them with a 10-foot pole. Most of those wallets are all on a device that doesn't touch the internet. You know how that goes.
I know how that goes. Well, that was good to play the game, right?
This does feel like a steakhouse, like a pub. 1.5 hour flew by, not just past. It flew by.
Even we had the dogs and all.
Yes, I can't believe I found that pistol.
The dogs are getting very agitated downstairs. I'm actually wondering if I've got an intruder down there, because they're really going for it. They're having their own party down there.
They're probably just hungry. You got to feed them, Chris.
I've fed them. Don't let they will tell you lies. They get fed 2 meals every day, and then they'll sit there going, "Oh my god, he doesn't feed me anymore."
Yeah, I know that.
They are loyal.
Right. Do we need to talk quickly? We are at the hour and a half, and we're not Joe Rogan.
No.
Yeah.
So, although I did go to the gym today, gym by day,
For you,
podcast
brother.
by night. Should we talk very quickly about there's the ETH-Link governance process? Perhaps just for 5 minutes. Close on that.
Notice how the game just disappeared when it got serious. It was just
Yeah. So currently there's a new proposal on ETH-Link. Or does someone else want to? Because I'm not a very best player. I'm a layer 1 kind of guy. I'm not really a layer 2 kind of guy.
whoa.
I think that Germán would know better. Than
Yeah.
anyone.
Yeah,
Germán,
he's definitely a layer 2 kind of guy, isn't he?
Am I?
Yes, you're a roll-up guy.
Yeah, a no wall guy. So
Yeah, I heard you talking about roll-ups. You like them.
I do like them. Yes, I'm all
Perhaps that was
layers kind of guy.
That's a different sort of roll-up, wasn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, so like you said, I'm looking here. We are seeing the participation on the. Okay, yeah, I'm checking that I'm. Yeah, I share the right tab, not the one I'm connected with my baking key. So yeah, we have a promotion period ongoing for the Evisu upgrade of Etherlink. So if you are a baker and you haven't voted yet, we do have the quorum already. It's kind of like the minimal is 5%. We are 20%. Would be great if we can get maybe over 25, 26%. I think so far the record we had it was 24 point something. So we are trying to push each Etherlink upgrade to give a bit more, getting the baking community more involved. Hopefully at some point, not so in the distant future, we might have the same levels of participation for layer 1 and layer 2. So so it's kind of like if you are a baker out there and you haven't voted, it's your opportunity because of supporting and signaling the way forward of Etherlink and Tezos X. So thanks to the work of different teams, TechRail was involved, the blockchain infra team at Trilitech was also involved. We did a revamp of the governance site that was showing. So now, and this was one request from a fellow baker that I already created him. So he say, "Oh guys, it's great that you have this Explorer. Can we have something to vote in one click?" And so now we did a bit of the refreshment. So now you can connect with your wallet and you can vote directly. Very large baker says, "Oh, this is amazing," especially when in combination with a slightly different feature that Etherlink governance has with regard to layer 1, which is that you as a baker can designate a voting key. I know, for instance, that Chris.
What does that mean? What does that mean in simple terms?
Well, basically that you don't need to bake. You don't need to vote with your baking account, right? So your baking account sometimes you have it on a ledger. Like in a very serious businesses and foundations, they have policies with regard who gets the key to the money. So whenever they need to vote, they need to follow some procedures, bureaucracy, this kind of stuff. Maybe they need to, or even get the ledger from the safe.
Well, on that, you can't necessarily vote with the system. You have to go and break because it's a manager operation. So by offloading that onto a governance key, I voted today for TF using a ledger. It was I was just able to do one operation and do all of them. It was much easier.
Yeah, the voting key allows it. So basically, you set the voting key as a baker with the command say, "Okay, I will vote in Etherlink governance with this key." You can put one key to all the 3 different governance processes, slow, fast, and kernel, or you can have one each if you want. And for instance, even like in Chris' case, if you have different bakers, you can say, "Okay, there's not only the foundation, but there's Bakenook, there's Chorus. There are some bakers that they have different bakers. They could say, okay, for Etherlink governance, I want to have just designate the same key to vote. So this is this is on in itself is something that it was already available since July, since the last previous upgrade, which is convenient to everybody to say, okay, I don't got to go and fetch, my ledger to sign a manager key, a manager operation, because this is a smart contract that you're calling. But now with the new revamp, if you have set up a voting key, you connect with the voting key, you vote in one click. So I had like some very large baker say, oh, this is amazing, this is great, because now it's just, it's 10 minutes to vote rather than, like maybe an hour. So hopefully this will increase the participation also in terms of Etherlink governance, right?
Well, better UX always helps with
better UX always helps, and it feels nice because it's kind of like it's we lost Chris. Hope he did not get mad.
He just probably went to.
He stood up. I figured we could give him privacy till he gets back, and then I'll.
Yeah, he didn't go to call my manager. Okay.
Wait. Let me put him back in his place. There we go.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had to go and have severe words with two hounds downstairs.
Okay.
So what did they say? Were they hungry?
They said woof.
Woof. Oh shit. That's serious.
But yeah, so that's one of the cool things. I think we have it was great because I think it's a bit of a turnout because it came also as a suggestion from a well-known baker in this feedback inbox mechanism that we deployed this year. If you go to tezos.com/feedback, you get a form. This is the right address. And you get the form. Yes. You make your suggestion there and get straight into the technical team. And this idea of actually I think the prompt was, hey guys, why don't we do something like TestGov but for voting on Etherlink? And we delivered. We got, we flagged this, we pushed for this, we got we got the right teams in motion. So it's nice, and it's kind of like saying it's a quick UX win, and now we can even use it as a bit of a testing. Is something that maybe someday we might want to see in a layer 1, perhaps, we don't know, but it kind of like it feels like also it's a sandbox for experimenting with other features, right? That's how we want to tweak maybe governance mechanisms. And in terms of the proposal itself, so there's I think to me there's two major things coming on Evisu. One is basically leveling up, so it's catching up with the EVM Prague update. So and there's a couple of EIPs that are being selected, but the most important one is EOA, so basically account abstraction, which is something that it's a bit of a it's give it a bit of a thing because it allows you to basically offload a lot of business logic for that Ethereum doesn't have into the wallets. Hopefully, it's something that will improve the user experience on Etherlink. There's also some other support for IPs, like support for native BLS pre-compute, some such bit more technical stuff, and then maybe on the more nerdy, maybe technical side, Evisu is changing a little bit the engine under the hood from basically the implementation that we have, which is based on Sputnik VM, moving to REVM. So maybe this for a bit of jargon for the users, especially if you don't know.
Does it affect any?
Well, that's mostly like as we're going to say, it's a performance choice. Like it's REVM is definitely more higher performing EVM backend, so you will see it in the you will have like faster compute in a way. So basically, we'll be able to process transactions faster. You will see it will translate to lowering latency, increasing the capacity also of what these blocks can produce. So it's a bit of a I don't have any benchmarks in the post, maybe but it's purely like the expectation is that we will see with the Visu of higher performing Etherlink under the hood. So I guess it's UX as well for the user. It's kind of like we still have smooth operations lately. There's also a little bit of maintenance, I guess that with every upgrade we have doing, like it's the same as on layer 1. Perhaps, there's always a little bit of fine-tuning of putting a little bit of WD-14, some clock there, adjusting. I think there's some maintenance work also to harden a little bit of some the FA2 bridge, some maybe improving some edge cases where or not have seen some stuff that was not perhaps optimal, and there's always an opportunity to improve. But it is a measure, because kind of like now in the latest updates, Etherlink has gone into this model in which we had Dionysius, which is 4.0, and then we have like a revision 4.1. So basically we have this this desire and this push from the core Etherlink team to say, okay, we want to do upgrades more often, and to have this model in which we have measure some minors upgrades of the kernel, which is again something that we don't have on maybe on layer 1, because when we do upgrades, some upgrades are more complex than others in terms of features, but every upgrade is an upgrade, right? So every upgrade is a major a change of octets, and it's also kind of it's a little bit also a playground also to learn some lessons and say, okay, we now have a system on Etherlink where you have two different paths for upgrades, a slow one and a fast one. So we have done the fast one in the past for security upgrades and this kind of stuff, and we are also having this model in which we are naming measures and minors, and we are perhaps in a model in which we will ship often minor kernels upgrades and having governance more often. So I think it allows us a little bit to experiment with these ideas, right?
So there is a different process, let's say, to the normal process of governance for the major upgrades that change the kernel stuff on the kernel, stuff like that. But when you want to do some minor changes, there is another way to do it faster.
Well, actually, the last upgrades, like the major and the previous 4.1 was a minor, they went for the same path. So we have so the major and minor is a bit of like, if you want, it's a little bit of software engineering speak into saying this is the same kernel, the next is a revision, there's a few changes, maybe bug fixes, maybe some improvements, right. But it's not a big deal. Then what we have is the two different governance tracks. So if you saw the link I was sharing, if you go see the Governance Explorer, it says slow and fast. Slow has longer periods. I think right now it's like 5 days each, and maybe lower participation requirements instead of quorum. And then we have the faster one, which is the one that we have used. It was at the beginning we thought of it as the security upgrades. So basically, if it has shorter periods, and if we need to ship a bug fix, it's basically we will use that governance path, because we say it's a signal in the community, we need it fast. I think that like the periods are 1 day, were 1 day. Not put my money on that. But then the quorum requirements are higher, because basically what I'm saying, like we're reducing the time of governance, and then we want to get quorum and make sure that everybody's aware that this is. We need to ship this, right? So it's like a matching, I guess, in between, like having these two tracks to a faster and regular path, if you want to.
There's an important point here, right? Because when this upgrade happens and it's voted in, it's triggered, right? And most of the time, you don't have to upgrade the roll-up software on the servers. The roll-up is actively upgraded on chain, which is a bit different to the layer 1.
Yeah, the layer 1 is slightly different. Yes.
And I think this is very important, because when we get Teslink going, and applications start to become layer 2 applications, the governance is going to be a lot more seamless, because the updates will happen on chain as well. So not only is the voting happening on chain, but also the software is being deployed and automatically upgrading with minimal effort. So I think in the future, that's going to be a great thing. It's my 2 Tez. So I heard the bell for last orders, and we have to sort of pretend we're in a bar. So, we have a bell for last orders, and it being England, we shut our bars very early.
Isn't there like a sound effect for a bell or something?
Bing. There you are. Bing.
There is a
last orders, gentlemen.
There is a bounce sound effect.
We play that closing time song in the United States for some reason.
Yeah.
Closing time. One more call for alcohol. That one.
That one.
That one.
Well, anyway, the point is, are there any parting before we leave these lovely people? We have over 200 people. Actually, over 250 people according to the stats, which is great. Because I didn't realize I had that much family. But at the end of the day, any parting comments? Blangs, any parting comments before we go?
I would say that the things we talk about are unbelievably foreign and strange to most people, because they don't understand how important a lot of this stuff is. It may seem heavy, it may seem jargon filled, it may seem almost like you don't really need to know, but knowing that you have clean water and power, and knowing that you can flush a toilet and it won't overflow, is important in real life. And taking care of those sort of things in our world is really what sets us apart, I think, from the rest of what's out there and available. So I appreciate everything you guys are doing. This has been a wild journey, watching this whole chain become what it is becoming. It's weird watching people start to understand the bigger vision, because everybody has a grasp of parts of it. Everybody has their part of it that makes sense. And what's wild is it all fits together. It's not exclusive. It's not mutually exclusive. It's not I get mine and you don't get yours, and you get yours and I don't get mine. This is a very, very strange thing that we've stumbled into and started building. So I'm excited to be here. I appreciate you. Sorry for the deep introspective thought. That's what happens when I drink too many fridge cigarettes.
Yeah, I thought you might be doing the ending for a off-grid podcast by accident. You switched the speeches, but Germán, any parting comments from you, sir?
I think this is fun. I hope we get to do this again, both domestically and non-domestically. I need to remember not to lock Candela outside when I'm live.
You remember you said Father Christmas might be bringing you a gaming rig.
Yes, that's. I might be getting carbon. Some coals.
Yeah, I think you'll be getting some cold toast. Anyway.
Yeah, I will need to keep sending bakers to hunt Cryptonio instead of doing it myself. But yeah.
Cool. Talking of Cryptonio, any passing comments for the ladies and gentlemen out there?
I'm gonna just agree with both Blanks and Germán. I think it was really fun. We are almost at 2 hours, and they passed like this. Like, was really, really nice discussion. I'm looking forward for the next time. I was really surprised to see that we have a decent amount of audience, which means that we are not that ugly after all. And obviously we will be more prepared for next time, but this was a very well first run, in my opinion. It was fun, and yeah.
Why are you giving away secrets? We
indeed.
didn't prepare anything. This was all impromptu, totally improvised. Ad
I
lib.
said we will be more prepared for the next time, which means this time we were not. We were just like, oh.
Well, this is the second podcast I've done today, but the first one we ended up aborting it in the end because two of the guests didn't turn
What
up.
was the first one?
It's called Security Tapes.
Whoa.
So I've presented an episode of it already. It's going to come out soon, but we're doing a crypto version.
Tapes. Sounds serious.
It is, and we do very little prep for it. We just turn up and trust our luck.
Those are the best shows.
They are sometimes they're the best shows. Sometimes they're
Oh,
not
no.
necessarily the best.
They're the best. Jerry Springer taught us that. They're the best shows.
Should we?
Well, I did a show.
Plans?
Well, hang on. I did a show in Prague last week, and that was pretty much ad-libbed, and it went quite well, reasonably well.
Yeah.
Plugs. What
Because you're mentioning your other podcast, maybe like guys want to preview a little bit what's coming next week in.
Yes, they've got other podcasts as well.
Those are voice only.
Yeah, but voice only, but radio.
Yeah, we do have spaces on the main Tezos Commons account. We have the Tuesday Tezos that we do every Tuesday at 8 p.m. UTC. And we have various guests. We do community calls there, Tezos community calls there. We got a bunch of people this Tuesday to come up and chat and chill and discuss all around Tezos. Same thing for Artsy Fridays that we do on Friday, which is at 6 p.m. UTC. And it's, as the name suggests, more focused on the art side of the ecosystem. We do have guests every time, and artists, going through their journeys, talking about the space in general, the art space in general, which is also very, very interesting. So yeah, just follow the Tezos Commons account for those, and you will see them happening every week consistently.
Okay.
Come have fun with us.
I have my own plug. So Wednesday, 9 p.m., 8 p.m. UK, probably 4 p.m. in Buenos Aires. I'm joining Libertes. He does a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of the Spanish-speaking community. So I made a personal commitment to him to come, try to come often with him and yap in our mother tongue. I think he's
nice.
Kind of like he's a pillar there because he's animating like with the Latin American and Spain people. Like last time it was fun. The first time we did that being like off script and speaking for 3 hours. So hopefully this time we keep it in check. But yeah, next Wednesday, 8 p.m. UK, I will be with Libertes talking about probably the same things but in Spanish.
Is October 15th, right? Yeah, next Wednesday.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome.
Excellent. Okay, so we should wrap up. So thanks to everyone. Oh, we've lost everyone. Where's everyone gone?
Somebody.
Okay, so thanks to the co-hosts as usual. Great co-hosts. Also, thanks to everyone for turning up and listening to us. We are going to be back at Christmas, so watch this space. So thanks everyone. Have a great week and take care. All the best.
Take care, everybody.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
See you guys. Thanks for joining.